What's up, y'all? It's Professor Ray Ray. We've got 15 more gardening terms to define. Welcome to Ray Ray's Garden, y'all. It's a Merry Christmas over here, especially when we can talk about gardening. Do me a favor, guys. Throw a thumbs up to this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get this gardening party started, y'all. Number one, mycorrhiza. This is a very hard word to pronounce. All mycorrhiza is the symbiotic relationship between the plant roots and the fungi. Symbiotic means these two things help each other. And if you've ever bought a bag of soil and it said with mycorrhiza fungi, that's what they're talking about. Which brings us to number two, rhizome. A rhizome is a horizontal stem that actually grows under the ground. Think of like blackberries. You ever noticed a blackberry can sort of pop up on you? That's because it's propagating or spreading its life underground as opposed through a seed. It's pretty phenomenal, actually. Number three, chitting. I realize that sounds like a cuss word, but it's actually totally fine. Chitting is all about pre-sprouting seeds. Think about like a potato. You could cut that in half, set it on your counter, and within a few days, it'll have a slight little crust on it, and it may start popping out some eyes. That's chitting. Number four, soil solarization. That is hard to say, but it's basically using the sun to help prepare soil by killing weeds, killing seeds, and anything else that might be growing in there. But be careful, you can do a lot of damage to a garden. If you've ever seen somebody cover their garden bed or whatever it is with like black plastic for months at a time, they're probably solarizing their soil. Number five, pinching back. This is kind of like pruning, except maybe you're just going to take your finger and your thumb and you might pinch back something. Think about it like this. If I pinch back the top of a serrano plant, instead of it keep growing up, it's going to bush out, get lots of fruit-producing branches, and make me a whole bunch more peppers. That's pinching back, y'all. Number six, determinate versus indeterminate tomatoes. That is probably the number one thing I hear about tomatoes. Is it indeterminate? Is it determinate? And the bottom line is, this is super easy to figure out. Determinate means everything is going to harvest at one time. You're going to grow that plant, and at this specific date, all your fruit are going to be there. Indeterminate doesn't work like that. It's going to keep growing until the frost or some other environmental condition stop it from continuing. Think about it like this. When do you want to can all your tomato sauce? Do you want to do it all at once in July or August? Or would you rather do that throughout the season? It's all about when you want your fruit. Number eight, espalier or espalier. This is when you train a tree or a shrub to grow flat or like vertical alongside a wall, maybe a trellis or a fence. This is used when you really want to maximize a space, and frankly, it is absolutely beautiful. Number nine, heirloom seeds. These are seeds that are passed down generationally. In other words, you'll grow something, take that seed, grow it again the next year, and continue that process. It is fantastic for acclimating plants that are so well suited for your environment. Highly suggest doing this. Number 10, pollinator. These are insects or even animals that help plants reproduce. They spread pollen and just help that process to happen quicker, and then sometimes they're the only reason a plant will produce. Here's a fun tip. Plant native plants on your property and you will attract all kinds of bees. And bees are awesome, not negative. Number 11, compost tea. This sounds very disgusting and possibly complicated, but all it is taking compost and steeping it in water. Think about like a tea bag. It's got the little cloth around it, the cheesecloth looking stuff. You soak the tea bag in the water, the hot water. You can do the exact same thing with compost, and you'll have a beautiful liquid fertilizer that is very healthy and very easy for plants to absorb the nutrients. Number 12, grafting. This may sound like an internet term, but it's actually just taking two plants and sort of joining them together. Most of the fruit trees you see for sale commercially are actually grafted, which means the root system and the stock probably comes from one tree, and then the actual part that produces the fruit is from that fruit tree. So you might have like a plum tree on top, but really the root system and the base of that plant is probably from something else. It's totally normal and how most commercial nurseries do it. Number 13, permaculture. This is a sustainable ecosystem that does its best to mimic a natural ecosystem. This is all about self-sustainable gardening, and we're really trying to mimic what Mother Nature would do. This is absolutely a fantastic way to grow and live, and it's something I'm always trying to learn more about. Highly suggest you research that. Number 14, and this is really fun to say, hugelkultur. Hugelkultur is a mounding technique. You can take things like logs or wood chips, maybe even random debris from your yard, and make a base out of that. Put your soil on top, maybe some compost, and then plant on top of that. It's a really cool technique. Last but certainly not least, something I absolutely love, and that is vermiculture, aka worm farming. Worm castings are garden gold, y'all. If you've watched videos on my channel, you know that I love to worm farm, and I use castings for everything. I make compost tea out of them, I do certain JMS inoculations, and frankly, it's sort of the base of almost everything I do to be a natural gardener. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out for another 15 terms. Do me a favor, guys, like and subscribe, share this video out. Let's grow this community and have a blast doing it, guys. Merry Christmas. Enjoy your families. We'll catch y'all soon. Professor Ray Ray out.